Change management. Organisations are supported by technologies to increase their added value and concentrate efforts and resources on achieving high customer satisfaction and economic profits. Businesses are dependent upon information technology, and there has to be defined procedures and policies to efficiently manage it. Technological resource management becomes more difficult as organisations expand. Change management is one of the areas with the most risk involved. Change management responds to the need of introducing changes as part of the business continuity, of new business requirements, and for continuous improvement. Any change requires a proper evaluation of possible effects and careful planning and execution to minimize any impact or disruption. Bisagi's change management process template is based on the principles of ITIL v3 practices, Information Technology Infrastructure Library version 3, to help guarantee changes by planning, impact and risk evaluation, control of levels of authorization, guarantee communication, and assist in the implementation and documentation. The definition of a standard process flow, responsibilities, information that must be recorded at each activity, and the traceability of each change will allow you to prioritize and respond to change requests, reduce the number of unsuccessful changes, meet external requirements, provide better estimations of time and cost, aid productivity, reduce response times, and identify useful information that will support continuous improvement. Analyze and implement the changes for your organization in an agile and efficient way. This video will guide you through the main tasks of the change management process. The process starts with the creation of an RFC, or request for change, by a person or group. Once the RFC has been planned and reviewed, it is submitted to the Change Management Department. This department establishes an initial assessment and evaluation and decides if the RFC is accepted, rejected, or it requires amendment. Changes have to be approved according to their classification and impact level. When the RFC has been authorized, it is planned, developed, tested, communicated, and executed. Then the change implementation is evaluated by the requester, who confirms if it was successful or not. The necessary actions to remedy the unexpected or undesired effects of the implementation are performed if required. Finally, the change manager reviews the development of the change and closes the RFC. Log in as the requester user. Click on New Case in the Case menu. Enter the type of change requested. A change can be standard. This is a pre-authorized change for applications or infrastructure for which the risk is low and its effects are known and documented. Normal. This is a change that must follow the complete change management process. An emergency. This is a change that requires immediate action to restore service or prevent service disruption. Enter the classification of the change, which can be infrastructure, which is a change related to any component of the technological infrastructure of the organization, or applications, which is a change related to any technological application of the organization. The level of detail of the information depends upon the type and impact of the change. In this case, we will fill in the subject, description, justification and benefits, estimated cost, effects of not implementing the change, item to be changed, affected configuration items, and the attachments to support the information we have entered. An initial evaluation of impact must be performed by answering the questions provided in the impact matrix. The level of impact is automatically set according to the total score of the responses. Check the construction document for more information about how you can define the questions, answers, scores and policies to establish a level of impact that applies to your organization. Click on Next. The assignee is now a member of the technical group in charge of reviewing changes. Log in as the change technician user. Review the technical information of the RFC. Give your sign-off and enter your comments. Click on Next. The new assignee is the change analyst. Log in as the change analyst user. Review the information of the RFC. You can modify some information as to the type of change, change classification, or impact evaluation if you consider it necessary. Accept the RFC, enter your comments and set its priority according to your policies. Click on Next. The new assignee is the Change Manager. Log in as the Change Manager user. This RFC has a medium impact level, so it has to be evaluated by the Change Advisory Board. The Change Manager must meet with the Change Advisory Board and evaluate the change. Once the change has been evaluated, the Change Manager enters the results of this evaluation. Modify the impact evaluation and priority if necessary. Enter the members of the Change Advisory Board that evaluated the change. You must enter at least one member to be able to continue. Enter the final decision regarding the authorization of the RFC, the authorization date, and the general observations. Click on Next. The assignee is now the Change Coordinator. Log in as the Change Coordinator user. Review the information of the approved RFC. In this activity, you must plan the implementation of the change. Enter the start and end dates of the change development and testing. Attach the list of test cases. Add the requirements to be developed in order to complete the application change. Click on Add Requirement. Enter the requirement, its description, necessary attachments, due date, and the assigned developer. Click on Save. Once all the requirements have been entered, click on Next. A new process is created for each requirement. Each one of the assignees are the developers selected before. Log in as the developer user. Review the information of the assigned requirement. When the requirement has been concluded, report its results. Click on Next. Once all the requirements have been developed, the assignee will be the Change Coordinator. Log in as the Change Coordinator user. Review the reports of the development of each requirement. When the requirements have been tested according to the defined cases, enter their results. If all requirements meet the test successfully, attach the Pass to Production form and click on Next. We are now in the Coordinate and Schedule implementation activity. Here, the Change Coordinator plans the date and duration of the change implementation. It is necessary to identify the people that must be notified about the change to inform them about the change scheduling. Click on Add Person and enter the name and email. In this case, we will notify all the organisation, so we enter the company name and the corporate email. Once the necessary information has been entered, click on Next. A message will be sent to each person included in the table. We are now in the Report Implementation Results activity. The Change Coordinator enters the results of the implementation and his or her final comments. Click on Next. The new assignee is the Requester. Log in as the Requester user. Review the information of the RFC. Answer the questions related to the post-implementation review and enter your comments. Click on Next. The assignee is now the Change Manager. Log in as the Change Manager user. Review the development of the RFC. Verify if the requester and stakeholders are satisfied with the results, if there are no unexpected effects, and if the change was executed as planned, on time and within budget. Finally, update the Change Management Database, CMDB. Click on Next. The summary form will be displayed. This process template also allows you to extract useful data to analyze and control your process. If you wish to know the case status at any time, you can use queries and get access to the RFC history. Go to the Work portal and select the option Queries. In the form, enter the RFC number. The selected RFC will be displayed. Click on the left-hand side of the record. Here you can check the summary form. You can also obtain data about RFCs such as total changes per period, total successful cases, implemented cases, etc. In the query form, choose the option on the attribute of your interest and the start and end dates of the period you wish to evaluate. The results of all cases that meet the criteria will be displayed. You can export the results to Excel to calculate the necessary KPIs to evaluate the performance of the change management. Feel free to customize the process according to your needs. Thank you for your interest in Bizagi, the solution preferred by BPM experts.